What's up there, my fellow skeptics and believers and everyone in between? Welcome back to another episode of Ghost in the Machine. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a bit of ghost hunting equipment that really doesn't advertise so much as like detecting ghosts or capturing ghosts. It's more of a alert system, if you will. So let me explain. This is the Elite Spirit Stick. And the first time I saw this was about 2 years ago at a ghost hunting conference in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And I came across it. There were a whole bunch of them on a table booth. And I talked to the guy that made them. And he didn't actually say they detected ghosts, which was actually a plus. I usually hear people that make this kind of equipment and say, oh yeah, it detects ghosts because of their energy and this and that. This guy didn't say that. All he did was tell me that it detects motion. That's pretty much it. And it was to alert ghost hunters to an event. You know, something happened. Somebody moved in front of it, or something moved in front of this, and it caused it to light up, and it caused the alarm to go off, which is all wired into the same thing. Anyway, alerting ghost hunters to, hey, something's in this area. So I went back to the same conference the following year. And again, I saw the same guy, same table, same setup, these big sticks. And it didn't interest me too much because all I saw was a little electrical box, a plastic box with a piece of PVC sticking out of it about 2 feet high, LED strip wrapped around it. And it looked like it was just going into a common PIR motion sensor. Not a big deal. And so I actually went up to the guy, I talked to him again, and I asked how much they were going for, and he told me $120. And I was like, holy shit, $120. I mean, this looks like like scraps of material that you have left over in a workshop, and you just kind of slapped it together and said, hey, let's do it. And again, I walked away, didn't think anything of it. No big deal. It was a little bit later, probably about 2 months ago from when I'm filming this, that I again was at a different paranormal conference, and a friend of mine came up and said, hey, I know you're probably going to be mad. I know you're not going to like this, but don't get too mad at me. I'm going to buy one of these things. And I went back and forth with her. I told her that it wasn't a good idea, that it was $120, and you could probably build one for about $20 or $30, really easy. I mean, it doesn't really look that hard, but she liked it anyway, and she wanted to get one so she could test it. And to her credit, she's been really awesome. I mean, this is a friend of mine for years, and she's been getting equipment. She used to believe in all this ghost hunting equipment, and then she finally started going away from it, realizing that it doesn't really do what people claim it does. So she bought one. And we were going back and forth, and I kept saying, you know what, I could build one of these. I think I can build one of these. So that's where this video comes in. I decided to build one of these devices my own way to see if I could get all the same parts and make it work exactly how this one does. And my first goal was to see if I could do it. If I could find all the parts and if I could build this thing and just put it together and have myself a huge motion sensing glow stick, basically. And the second thing is I wanted to see how much it would actually cost. And this is the lesson that I'm going to get into more at the end of the video, where so many of these ghost hunting gadgets are sold for extremely high prices, and they really don't have much to them. They're nowhere near worth the amount of money that's being charged for them, and the parts are, I mean, usually really cheap, and then putting it together really doesn't take too long, and this and that. But I'll go into that more at the end of the video. But right now, what I want to do is go over to my workshop, and I'm going to bring you along with me. We're going to go to my workshop, and I'm going to show you some of the parts that I got, and we're going to go through the whole building stage together. So let's go. What's up? Welcome to my little workshop. So this is my workshop at home. You can see it's a mess because there's a bunch of car parts and there's other people's parts in here, but it's a workshop. So let's go in and look, because I got set up right here what we're going to build today. So coming in, here we go. We got drill, what do we got here? Electrical tape. This is a speaker that does a continuous beep noise. It's actually wired into some LED lights already. I got my drill. I got a base, which is not just a regular electrical box like we see in the original one, but I figured I can make it cheaper because this was only like, I think $5. I got my LED strip. I got my on and off switch, got the sensor. This is a motion sensor, or PIR, passive infrared sensor. 9-volt battery pack. Here's the length of tube. It's actually a little bit longer than 2 feet because I'm actually, instead of just gluing it to the top here, I'm gonna put a hole through it and then go right through to the bottom, so it's actually standing inside of it like that. And then run the wires out through the cut that I made here. So let's see if we can build this on the cheap. You know, cheaper than $120. All right, base is done. Well, hole's drilled, so then that comes through. Once I'm figure out the wiring, then I can glue it in place. You know, hot glue, just like everybody else uses. And the button's in. Yay! Whee! Sensor's in. This is a PIR sensor. It's a passive infrared sensor. I taped it on. Used electrical tape because I didn't feel like mounting it, but it's, you know, I'm on a budget. So anyway, it's a basic sensor. You can get it really cheap. I think I got 3 of them for $6. I don't know. I'll put the prices for everything at the end. The LED strip is in there. Yay! Whee! And I also mounted the top. So this comes off and the wires are in there. There's an extra one here because the original product that I saw, the original ghost hunting gadget I saw, had a extension hanging out. So they could plug in more lights. So you can actually plug in an extra LED strip or anything that has a jack like that, you know, that makes noise or whatever you want to do. So for now, it goes in the top. Get in there. Get in there. There we go. There we go. Battery's in. Ooh, and look. Ready? 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 It works! Speaker's in. Right there. There it is. Tiny little bugger. And it's wired up. There it is. This is a ghost hunting gadget that I saw at a conference. Actually, I saw it at 2 conferences. And they're charging $120 for it. And from what I saw, it was basic parts you can get. And again, I'm going to have a breakdown of the parts and their prices at the end here. But it's all together. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to turn it on. It'll light up and it should make noise, hopefully. And then after about 15 seconds, well, actually a few seconds, I think 5 seconds, it'll reset and wait for any motion. And then it'll go off for 15 seconds. So let's see if it works. Okay, here we go. Turn it on. Let it set. All right, it's looking right at me. I'm not moving, but now I'm going to wave. There it goes. It should go off for about 15 seconds. Yeah. It's got to be annoying watching this. Waiting for that annoying beep to just stop beeping. There it goes. So it works. Yep, it works. Okay, so there you have it. I was able to build a ghost hunting gadget for about $26. It wasn't that hard. It only took me about an hour to put together. Once I figured out, you know, where everything went and how it would go, it took about an hour total of figuring it out and putting it together. And then the moral of the story here is not that, you know, it's easy to build your own ghost hunting equipment, because it's not. Because one, we don't have any equipment that detects ghosts. We don't even know ghosts exist. That's the main problem. But a lot of these ghost hunting gadget manufacturers or makers have this idea that ghosts already exist.
And the people buying these devices already have that belief that Ghost exists. So it's really easy to sell gadgets like this at a high price to people that already believe they work. The point of this is, if you really want to have something like this, that you can build it yourself if you want to. Instead of spending $120 on a device like this, you can spend $26 and an hour of your time and put it together yourself if you want to. Now, I understand not everyone is mechanically inclined or the tools to put this together, put this kind of thing together. So reach out to somebody that can. Or actually, you really don't have to. If you look around, see, if you call yourself a paranormal investigator, then the first thing you should be doing is investigating what this equipment does and what kind of parts are involved. I mean, that's the big thing. What parts are being used? Figure out what they are, what they really do, what they don't do, and what the real manufacturers, say that they can do. Because honestly, once I started looking around, like I initially looked around to see if I could find the same parts based on the photos that I took of the original device. And then just paging through the shopping ads, the ads in your newspaper, I saw something from Home Depot, and here's a LED strip that it's a 40-inch white battery-powered strip of LEDs with a motion sensor. It's a motion sensor already in it, and it was only $10 for this. $10. Here, let me show you what's inside. I must have child-proofed this. There we go. So for comparison, here is the sensor. That's the sensor, motion sensor, that's on the big device. And here is the one that comes in the Home Depot model. It's a little bit smaller. Yeah, the dome is a little bit smaller, but it does the same thing. It does the same exact thing. Honestly, I've tested this, and I was coming within like 8 feet or so of this, and it was setting it off. Same thing with this thing from Home Depot. Hey there! So I'm breaking in from the not too distant future while I'm editing this video. I've actually got it up on screen right now, and I'm editing everything. So I just heard myself say that this was done, or the motion sensors were able to be set off from like 8 feet away. And I did some testing. I did a very preliminary kind of testing where I took the doll that I set up, and you'll see that in a few minutes, with the same sensor from Home Depot, and I set it up where I walked out into the lobby here, and you'll see like it sets it off, and then I put a tape measure off, and I was about like 8 to 10 feet away, and it was going off. But I also had the doll with a motion sensor up high, and it was on like a shelf, and you'll see it's on a display case. So it might have been too high to pick up in an environment where, well, let me backtrack. It's not exactly what ghost hunters would do during their ghost hunt. You wouldn't put it up high where it was like 6 feet off the ground, with the front of the display case blocking some of its area. Usually these things are set on the floor. So I set up some tests in order to do it in that scenario, in that kind of situation. So I'm going to go down to the hallway here out by our lecture hall, and I'm going to set these things up. I'm going to set up some tape measures on the floor. You'll see it. And we're going to test it and see how far away I can be from these things before they're triggered. So let's go. here. We got a, what do we got here? 12 more feet. So now I added from 16 feet right there, I added another tape measure to go an additional, let's see, 11 feet, actually like 11.7, I think that says, back there, 11.6, 11.7, so 16, 11, that's 27 feet. And let's see if this, how far we can be away from this sensor to be picked up. That's pretty good. 27 feet away. All right. Okay. Side. This one. That's it. Here. 7-foot mark. Okay, it doesn't. Let's move closer. Right here. Let's see, that is 8, 5, 11, 5, 6 feet. So 16, 6, 22 feet. That's not bad. So that's not bad. I mean, the $10 one from Home Depot gets you sensing a difference in temperature. So it's not actually a motion sensor, it's a temperature sensor. And it's a temperature difference sensor, basically. But basically the idea is that it'll sense movement or motion, I guess. We're going with that idea, from 22 feet away. That's pretty good. The other one, the better model, obviously did a little bit better, but still $10 for a motion sensor, 22 feet. I mean, that covers most hallways that you're going to deal with, and rooms. I mean, there's not going to be many rooms that you're going to be in that are much bigger than that. And if you do, then you can still buy multiple motion sensors for $10 and cover the rest of the room. So pretty good. All right, back to the main video. I took one of these, and this is just the battery pack and the sensor. The LED strip is in here. Let's see. It's in the pack here. So I took it, and I put it in this doll. So you're probably wondering why this was in the background. So this is actually set up with the motion sensor. I'll show you right here. In the belt here, I cut a little hole in the dress, so the sensor is visible, or actually it's poking out. And what I did was wrap the LED lights around the dress. And it comes with the remote. That's even better. Like, yeah, it doesn't have an alarm, but it comes with a remote, so you can turn it off and on. But sitting this here, clear spot here. If I sit this here, let's see, I gotta turn on the motion sensor. Now this should go off in a few seconds. All right, there we go. And now it's set. Now it's set as a motion sensing doll, which is creepy and more. I actually like this better. Instead of this big PVC sex toy looking device here, I actually prefer it being in a doll, because if you're going to go with the belief, and I'm not, I want to make sure that disclaimer is out there. I don't believe this. But if you want to, if you're going with the belief that ghosts like to play with toys and stuff like that, I mean, you want to put a doll out, especially if you got a little girl ghost, which is like one of the most common ghost stories on the planet. You know, the little girl ghost. But if you go in front of it now, there you go. The light comes on. And I don't think it'll be too hard to actually wire in a speaker, one of the speakers that I have. And I might do that later, but I don't really see the need. Anyway, so the moral of the story is that you don't have to spend a lot of money on these gadgets, because most of the time they don't work, at least as advertised. And again, I want to say that for this thing, they advertise it for use in ghost hunting, but they don't actually say it detects ghosts, which is actually a plus. They just say you can use it for ghost hunting, and then they charge $120, which is a lot of money. Anyway, so basically, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can do a lot of the stuff. You can build a lot of these things yourself, or you can just go out to like Home Depot and buy something that's already together. It's already a kit that you can stick anywhere. I can stick this on this pole. So I made this little stand out of PVC, and this sensor has a Velcro backing, so you can put it on here, stick it on here, wrap the LED light around the pole. There you go. You got the same thing as that, except for no alarm, which you don't really need because that's so annoying. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.